So after a few episodes of Gen V, it's clear to see that there are some stark similarities between Soulja Boy from The Boys and Sam from this show. Whilst not all of their powers are exactly the same, their main skill sets are very comparable. With Soulja Boy set to make an appearance in episode 6 of Gen V, it got me thinking, what would happen if these two characters faced off against each other? Well, I thought I'd put them up against one another, compare their powers, their strengths, their weaknesses, and decide who would win and if it would be close. So let's get into it. Here is Soulja Boy vs Sam, who would win? Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Their powers. So both of these soups are at different times in their lives, and the use and understanding of their powers are on different timelines of progression. For example, Soulja Boy has been around for around 100 years and has seen a hell of a lot of things. And Sam is probably only around 18 or 19 years old and has been kept in the woods and inside of facilities for at least 3 years of his life. This doesn't impact what powers they have, but it most definitely impacts the understanding of them and the level that they've been able to get to, as I feel if both had a similar amount of time then it would have been a lot closer. So let's start with Sam. Well, from what we know at the moment, Sam is considered to be one of the most powerful soups that's out there for his age, especially when compared to his peers that sit above him at Godolphin University. He was even considered to be stronger than his brother, Golden Boy, who had a fast-tracked spot into the Seven and was said to be joining them, so I think that alone already says a lot about the character. Sam's main powers are made up of 3 things at the moment. He has enhanced superhuman strength, a gigantic leap which propels him hundreds of feet forwards at a time, and also extreme durability. Sam's enhanced strength is something that enables him to have the ability to knock down, harm, and even kill people with a single punch, something that we've not seen him do in his original form yet. But we've seen him wipe out a group of guards in a matter of moments, causing a complete bloodbath. With him also being considerably stronger than his brother, somebody who is worthy of being in the Seven, it means that this would most likely be something which was also applicable to inflicting damage onto other soups. Now, I feel like there are going to be some comments about Sam being held down by Emma and that he couldn't break free from her, but personally, I think he could have done it quite easily. However, I just think that he knew that it was Emma and he didn't want to harm her. He cares about her a lot, and I don't think that he'd want to harm her in any way at all. So I think he just allowed her to press down on him, as it may have even helped him calm down. Sam's offense is extremely strong, but his defense is something which is just as strong too. For example, the durability that he has is something that allows him to take attacks off of many other powerful soups, such as Andre and also Jordan. He took hits from both of them and looked unfazed at the end of them. As well as that, when we saw inside of his mind and the situation where he wiped out all of the guards when he was in the form of a puppet, there were shots being fired towards him, and he wasn't harmed in the slightest, so that makes me think that his durability also extends to bullets, meaning that he could be bulletproof, something which is extremely advantageous. Obviously, we've not seen him tested with things that are far more powerful, but it could also extend so much further than that too. Now let's move on to Soulja Boy. Well, where does this guy's powers stop? Soulja Boy quite literally has the 2 main powers that Sam has that make up most of his arsenal. For example, Soulja Boy has superhuman strength and was once considered as the strongest man alive. This was before Homelander. Plus, paired with that extreme strength is the fact that he's a master in hand-to-hand combat and is an extremely skilled fighter. As well as that, to add to his fighting abilities and his offense, he has extreme stamina, which means that a lot of the time he can outfight his opponents and not get tired. He has enhanced speed and also enhanced senses. In terms of his defense, his durability level is very high, meaning not much really hurts him or causes any damage at all when in battle. When he was being experimented on, he went through some of the most unimaginable things to see if it would ultimately harm him, and it didn't at all. He's bulletproof just like Sam, which then equals up the levels in that part. The only time that we really saw Soulja Boy get harmed by anything or anyone was when in a fight with Homelander, which caused him to get a bit dazed, and also when Billy used his laser vision on him, breaking the skin for the first and only time in the show, something which was a shock at the time. In being the formerly strongest person alive, having impenetrable skin, being bulletproof, surviving a drop from almost 100 stories, and not being impacted by any of the radiation that he emits, he is the definition of durable. One of Soulja Boy's main powers is the fact that he can generate a radiation blast that has the power of destroying entire streets in the city and killing everybody in its radius, including Supes, as it drains the Compound V from their body and renders them powerless, meaning nobody is safe around him. This can often happen when he's the most charged up emotionally, so this is a power that shouldn't be slept on. I think it's safe to say that in terms of powers, Soulja Boy takes this one quite easily. Sam and Soulja Boy do have extremely similar powers, but when it comes to the additional extras, and in Soulja Boy's case, powerful extras, he just has them nailed down. So maybe as time goes on, Sam could become as powerful as Soulja Boy, but he's not had the training to be able to build up his skill set and truly master his powers like Soulja Boy has. Now let's look at their weaknesses. In terms of their weaknesses, for both characters, their main weaknesses lie within their mind, something which I feel impacts many of the greatest Supes. For Sam, he has schizophrenia, and it means that he has hallucinations where the people around him turn into puppets, or people that aren't there can appear as puppets, and he struggles to determine what is real and what isn't. Something which is bad, as it can cause him to go off on a rampage and essentially destroy anything that's in front of him. Something which we saw when he went round to Cardosa's house in episode 4, and if the group didn't show up, then he would have probably brought the house to the ground. His schizophrenia is the very thing that landed him in the woods in the first place, because he wasn't able to be controlled and was a danger to those around him, purely down to the sheer strength and power that he had, meaning that they thought that if he wasn't contained, then he'd destroy a lot of what was around him. So it proves to be a weakness that can catch him off guard at any point. But it can also cause him long-term consequences too, like being stuck inside of the woods. In terms of Soulja Boy, one of his biggest weaknesses is his PTSD. This is something that can often just hit him out of the blue. The trauma of being experimented on for almost 40 years lives long in his memory, and it can be triggered at times. There was a song that was frequently played when he was in captivity, which is known to cause him to lose sight of everything around him and for that PTSD to kick in, which can cause consequences that are out of his hands. Along with that, one of his powers that is extremely advantageous can prove to be a disadvantage and a weakness if choosing to utilize it at the wrong time, and that is the radiation blast that he emits. For the radiation blast to be emitted, it takes Soulja Boy a significant amount of time to essentially charge up. This then leaves time, room and space for him to be attacked by his opponent, because at that point, with Soulja Boy quite literally focusing on that and frozen in time, he's rendered vulnerable. Novichok is a toxin that can prove to go against Soulja Boy too, and is actually one of the only things that's able to get Soulja Boy to go into what could be described as a comatose state where he can't do anything. This substance is said to be able to kill a regular human in less than a minute, so when it's around him, it can tame him. I would most likely imagine that this would impact Sam as well, maybe even kill him, but I guess that's something we can't actually tell. I would say that they are Soulja Boy's main weaknesses when it comes to being in a battle situation. There are other weaknesses, if you could call them that, but they're mostly lifestyle choices, so I'm not going to include those. Taking both of the characters' weaknesses into consideration, I would actually say that Soulja Boy has more weaknesses than Sam. I think Sam's mindset can be a weakness, but it's something which in a battle could cause him to just see red and not stop until he felt like he'd done enough, so I would give this round to Sam. A point apiece. Conclusion. So overall, I would say that even though it's one round to each of the characters, I would say that Soulja Boy is more powerful than Sam. Even though Soulja Boy may have more weaknesses, his strengths far outweigh Sam's. There would be more opportunities for Soulja Boy to try out different forms of attack which could in turn cause a chink in Sam's armor, and then from there, he could see how to defeat him. As long as Soulja Boy didn't charge up and then during that time was hit by Sam and then realized that Sam's actually far stronger, I think he'd be okay. Soulja Boy could quite literally just charge up, blast Sam, and then that would probably do it. That's if it impacts Sam. But who knows the true capability of Sam's durability? That's something that I hope that we find out more of as time goes on, as Sam does seem to be extremely powerful. But from this early stage, after only seeing a few episodes of Gen V and Sam specifically, I would say that Soulja Boy edges it massively at this point. But maybe with time, Sam will show how strong of an offense he's got and also a defense. So, there you have it, Soulja Boy wins. If you want to see more videos such as endings explained, theories and predictions and character breakdowns, then click on the I button. or alternatively you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. Who do you think would win? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.